Good morning, students. In our last class, we have finished with the first respiratory process, that is glycolysis, in which glucose is converted into pyruvic acid. One glucose molecule converts into two molecules of pyruvic acid. Now that pyruvic acid enters the next respiratory cycle, which is known as Krebs cycle. Now this Krebs cycle is also known as TCA, means tricarboxylic acid cycle, TCA cycle. Now why it is known as TCA? Because the first stable product formed in Krebs cycle, which is citric acid. Citric acid is the first stable compound formed in this Krebs cycle, and this citric acid is a 3-carboxylic group containing compound. Means the citric acid contains 3-carboxylic group, 3 COOH groups. So since it contains 3 carboxylic acid groups, hence it is known as tricarboxylic acid cycle also. Now here, this pyruvic acid converts into acetyl coenzyme A. Pyruvic acid, which has come from glycolysis, see, after glucose converts into pyruvic acid in the cytoplasm, then this pyruvic acid diffuses into the mitochondria. So this cycle is taking place inside the mitochondria. So once pyruvic acid diffuses from cytoplasm into the mitochondria, it converts into acetyl coenzyme A with the release of 1 carbon dioxide. See, pyruvic acid is a 3-carbon compound, and this acetyl coenzyme A is a 2-carbon compound. Then what about 1 carbon? It is released in the form of CO2. So this pyruvic acid converts into acetyl coenzyme A with the release of 1 carbon dioxide molecule. And from where this coenzyme A has come, it has been added here. When pyruvic acid converts into acetyl coenzyme A, 2 things happen. In fact, 3 things happen. We can say that 1, carbon dioxide is released. 2nd, coenzyme A is added. 3rd, reduction takes place. Redox reaction takes place. That is, NAD plus gets reduced to NADH2. And this process is not a part of Krebs cycle. It is a part of oxidative decarboxylation reaction. Our main Krebs cycle basically starts from this acetyl coenzyme A. Okay. Now what happens? Acetyl coenzyme A is accepted by OAA, that is oxaloacetic acid. Oxaloacetic acid is a 3-carbon compound, and acetyl coenzyme A is a 2-carbon compound. So 3 plus 2, it forms citric acid, which is a 5-carbon compound. Now this reaction takes place in presence of an enzyme, that is citrate synthetase. Citrate synthetase helps in accepting acetyl coenzyme A by oxaloacetic acid, and the first stable compound, that is citric acid, is formed. Now this citric acid converts into its isomer, that is isocitrate, with the help of an enzyme isomerase. If you remember, in our previous glycolysis, the glucose 6-phosphate was getting converted into fructose 6-phosphate with the help of an enzyme, that is isomerase again. If any compound needs to convert into its isomeric form, just one enzyme is required, that is isomerase. So citric acid gets converted into its isomer, that is isocitrate, with the help of an enzyme isomerase. This isocitrate gets converted to alpha-ketoglutarate. Okay, this isocitrate, this was a 5-carbon compound, this is again a 5-carbon compound, and alpha-ketoglutarate is a 4-carbon compound. So alpha-ketoglutarate, when isocitrate gets converted to alpha-ketoglutarate, one carbon dioxide is released, as well as again here also reduction takes place, that is NAD plus gets converted to NADH2. Then alpha ketoglutarate we have got. Alpha ketoglutarate gets converted to the next compound, which is succinyl coenzyme A. Again here this was a 5-carbon compound, this was again a 5-carbon compound, this is a 4-carbon compound with the release of 1 carbon dioxide. This is a succinyl coenzyme A with a 3-carbon compound. Again, how it is formed, a 3-carbon compound with the release of carbon dioxide here also. When alpha ketoglutarate converts into succinyl coenzyme A, here also the coenzyme A is being added. In this process, coenzyme A is added, carbon dioxide is released, and again reduction is taking place, that is NAD plus is converting to NADH2. So this is happening, then succinyl coenzyme A then gets converted to succinic acid. And now what is happening? Here in this step, coenzyme A was being added, and in this step, the coenzyme A is being removed. It's been removed from the reaction, and along with the production of 1 ATP, that is, but here ATP is produced in a slightly different manner, that is when succinyl coenzyme A converts into succinic acid. So GDP gets, what is GDP? It is GDP gets, it's also a form of energy only, like we have ADP, ATP. In the same manner, yes, GDP and GTP are also forms of energy only. So GDP gets converted to GTP, and this GTP gets converted to ATP. So, and this process occurs when succinyl coenzyme A converts into succinic acid. And when succinic acid, then next succinic acid gets converted to fumarate. And in this process, again reduction takes place, but this time reduction of NAD plus does not take place. Here reduction of FAD takes place. FAD gets reduced to FADH2 when succinic acid is converted to fumarate, and then this fumarate gets converted to malate, again with the reduction of NAD to NADH2, and then malate gets converted to oxaloacetic acid again, and then oxaloacetic, and then the process will start again, that is oxaloacetic acid will accept acetyl coenzyme A with the help of enzyme citrate synthetase, and the first stable compound citric acid will be formed, and ultimately this cycle will go on again. This cycle will go on for 2 times. Why? Because here there is 1 pyruvic acid, and you know that in glycolysis 2 pyruvic acids are formed. So 1 pyruvic acid will go through 1 cycle, and the second pyruvic acid will again complete second cycle. So this cycle will go twice. Okay. So whatever we'll see here when we calculate the number of ATPs, we'll just multiply the number by 2. We'll come to it later. First let's number this. We have already numbered. That is, this is the first step. Remember, there are 8 steps in total in this Krebs cycle. The first step is accepting acetyl coenzyme A by oxaloacetic acid in the presence of enzyme citrate synthetase, through which citric acid, the first stable compound, is formed, and this is a tricarboxylic acid compound. Then citric acid, second step, citric acid gets converted to isocitrate in presence of isomerase. Third step, isocitrate gets converted to alpha ketoglutarate with the reduction of NAD plus as well as release of carbon dioxide. Then fourth step, alpha ketoglutarate gets converted to succinyl coenzyme A with the addition of coenzyme A and the release of CO2 as well as reduction of NAD plus. Then fifth step, succinyl coenzyme A gets converted to succinic acid with the release of coenzyme A and GDP getting converted to GTP, and GTP ultimately gets converted to ATP means while succinyl coenzyme converts to succinic acid, we get 1 ATP. Then sixth step, succinic acid gets converted to fumarate, and in this step FAD gets reduced to FADH2. In seventh step, fumarate gets converted to malate. In this process again reduction takes place where NAD plus gets reduced to NADH2 and ultimately malate. Last step, malate gets converted to oxaloacetic acid. These were the 8 steps which occurs in Krebs cycle. Now, the names are confusing and you should not leave any of the names. Any of the steps you cannot miss out when you draw this Krebs cycle, or even if it comes for any competitive exams, they'll ask you like what reaction take place when alpha ketobutyrate gets converted to succinyl coenzyme, and they'll give you options. So that is why you should know the entire cycle step by step. So how can you remember the names of each compound is by a trick that you can hear. It's a very common trick which you can hear in other videos also. That is, first C, I, know. No stands with K, it's why no. C, I, know, some, simple, formula, making, options. We have taken the first letter of each compound and we have formed a statement, and if you remember this statement, you can, as while remembering the order from this kingdom to species, many of them get confused like whether kingdom will come first, or whether kingdom is simple but whether family will come first or order will come first or class will come. It's a confusion there. So to remember that, the very easy method is King Philips came over for good soup. K for kingdom, Philips phylum, King Philips came, class, over, order, for, family, good, genus, and soup, species. So this how you can remember. You'll never go wrong with the series from kingdom to species. In the same manner, if you remember this, C, I, know, some, simple, formula, making, options. So you'll never go wrong with the products form. Okay, so this was about the cycle. Now we'll calculate the number of ATPs in it. How many ATPs we get in total from Krebs cycle. That is, how many NADH2 are there? 1, 2 and 3. 3 NADH2, and we know that in last video when I was explaining glycolysis, I already told that 1 NADH2 gives 3 ATP. 1 NADH2 gives 3 ATP. So 3 NADH2 will get 3 into 3, 9 ATP. So 3 NADH2 will get 9 ATPs, and 1 NADH2 is worth 3 ATPs and 1 FADH2 is worth 2 ATPs. Okay, so remember this. So 3 NADH2 are giving 3 into 3, it is 9 ATPs. 1 FADH2 is giving 2 ATPs, and here 1 ATP is 1 ATP only. So if we total it, 9 plus 2, 11, and plus 1, 12. So that is 12 ATPs we get. And I told that this cycle will go on twice because pyruvic acid, there are 2 molecules of pyruvic acid which is formed in glycolysis. So in one cycle we'll get 12 ATPs. In the second cycle we'll again get 12 ATPs, which comes to total 24 ATPs. So ultimately in this Krebs cycle total 24 ATPs are formed.